We're okay with this so far? Great. Ooh. What kind is this? This is a different part of the kidney. You'll see this type of tissue in the kidney. Do you see these cells? Like chubby? Right? Create this chubbiness. How would we name this? Yeah. Got it. Simple cuboidal. They got more goo in them, right? It doesn't work well to hold a lot of glue in a squamous cell, but these cuboidal cells, they can do absorption, but they also can do secretion pretty well. So, like, they show up in the kidneys quite a bit to squirt stuff out, pull stuff back. Okay, this type of epithelial tissue shows up a lot in your digestive tract. What is it? Do you see the shape here? So, got this. Oh, sorry, I'm doing the teacher thing where I feel like I should ask lots of questions. Okay. You've got connective tissue down here that's supporting it, right? It's only one layer thick, and it's nice and tall. What kind is this? Simple columnar. Nice. Sneaky tricky question. Is this the apical side or is this the apical side? Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you know? You're right. You're totally right. How do you know? Yeah, because it's this stuff right here, right? Yeah. This stuff's connected to it. This is the outside for it, right? If you look really closely, you can be like, I think it's kind of fuzzy on there. Maybe it has a little microvilli on this one, but that's more we need to right now. Yeah, you're right. A simple columnar and so many words. Okay. They're going to be tall, they're going to be closely packed, right? They're connected to each other. Some are going to have a variety of different sticky out parts, especially in the gut. Absorption is going to be a big deal here. Secretion is going to be a big deal here. You've got, say, microvilli to increase surface area. You also have little cilia. I don't know if you remember from Gen Bio, how you can have cilia that like beat back and forth and move, right? These little projections off the cell. They're going to help move mucus, which is great. You want them to do that. You'll see it all over the digestive tract. It shows up in the gallbladder. It shows up in some glands. It shows up in a bunch of tubes in your body. It's all over the place. Questions? Good? Alright. Sneaky, tricky question because I like being sneaky and tricky. What the heck is this? Only one layer thick, right? Sort of, technically. But does it look weird, like back here? These cells all pretty much look the same, right? They're called the same kind of cells. These ones are all these nice chubby little guys. These ones are these really tall cells. This one? So yeah, there's only like one cell here in this layer. There's only one cell in this layer, but what is happening? Let's go over what we can first. Simple stratified. It's hard. It doesn't show up much. It shows up, this stuff shows up in the testes, in a couple glands, and like in part of your respiratory system, but just a little bit. It's called pseudo-stratified columnar epithelial, which is saying it looks like it's stratified. So it looks like there's, I need to guide for people wear masks. For you all's sakes, but also for my husband's, he cannot get this. He cannot get it. I mean, I don't like kids getting it, but yes. Thanks. Where's it? Oh yeah, this stuff. Pseudostratified, it's false stratification. You still have columnar cells, but it looks like 2 layers, but it's not really. It's gonna This stuff usually produces mucus and also is going to be doing some of the sweeping along. Okay, so these type, the squamous, cuboidal columnar, and then the fake columnar, so the columnar that looks pseudostratified, those are the types of of simple epithelial you have, right? Those are your options for, these are the shapes you have, if you only have one layer, these are the types of tissue you have. The other version is stratified epithelial tissue. So this is where you have two or more and you've got them just stacked up like pancakes, right? Even if you have them stacked, you still have the apical and basal layer, right? It makes no difference, but does it bother you if people eat pancakes upside down? It should, right? There is a top and a bottom to the pancake. If you eat it upside down, it's just wrong. Is this just me? Okay. It really doesn't matter, but like, there is an up and down, okay? Even with epithelial tissues, even when they're stacked, there's still an up and a down. So this first side's up and it's down. The next side's up is next to the other one's down. Are we okay with this? They're just stacked. Two or more cell layers. These cells, I'm hoping this is obvious, but they're going to regenerate from the bottom and move up. So the very outside layer is probably the one that's going to go first, and layers underneath are going to be regenerating and they're going to be cycling through that way. This is way more tough and durable, right? And it's not just one measly little layer of cells, because stratified epithelial tissue, you're expecting it for protection, right? It's not so worried about absorbing stuff quickly across the lungs. It's more worried about keeping bugs out from your innards, right? Like, I keep using the skin example because it's easy. All right, so here from, say, your mouth, as you start swallowing, there's this the epithelial tissue. You can see it here, lots of layers, right? It's regenerating from under here, and then as layers get sloughed off, new layers come through. Connective tissue support. How would you name this kind? Somebody from this portion of the room, simple or stratified? Stratified, yeah. Okay, somebody from this portion of the room. What's this top layer of cells look like? Squamous, yeah. So we've got stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Most common type of the stratified. It's all over the place. These deeper layers typically are going to be columnar or cuboidal. They're going to have a lot more going on. But as they move higher up, they get flattened out. You'll see it all over the place. So on the skin, you're going to have keratinized cells that got keratin. It's a protein, makes it tough. On moist linings, say moist linings in like your nasal cavities, they're not going to have much keratin. Hopefully because you're not like sticking things up your nasal cavities quite as much. There's not as much interaction with the cruel outside world. It still needs to be protected, but it's not quite as tough. All right, so we've had each type of option for the simple layers, and then for stratified, we've seen stratified squamous. What other options are there for types of epithelial tissue you could have? Like, you don't have to actually be right, but like theoretically, what are the options? We've got all the simple kinds, so focus on stratified. Yeah, you can have a bunch of cubes, right? You can have at the top layer be a cube, and you can have several stacked up. And there's another option. Yeah, you can have a bunch of columns stacked up, right? Just because of how the human body works, this kind is far and away the Stratophytes columbus is really the popular type. But there are other types. Stratified cuboidal definitely happens. It's found in some sweat glands and some mammary glands, but not all of them. But it has been found. Like it's there. It's like, oh hey, that's cool. Typically it's only 2 layers thick. There also technically is stratified columnar tissue. It shows up usually at transition areas. It doesn't show up very often. It shows up in the male urethra, it shows up in the couple ducts, and it shows up in the pharynx a little bit. I think I have a picture, but it really, really doesn't show up very often. This over here, don't worry about too much, but this is, you've got a couple thick and it's cuboidal. A couple thick and it's columnar. It's really hard to tell. I was having a hard time finding a picture of this. It's not that common. But it exists, so that's cool. Last but not least, for where we're going for a break, yeah. There you go. It's called, this breaks the naming convention a little bit, it's called transitional epithelium. It's the tissue that they're found at the transition between one type and the other. You've got it in your hollow urinary organs, so like in your bladder. It looks like this. Come on, don't freeze. I'm pushing it a lot. That's not. It's some very chubby epithelial cells. It's the base layer is going to be cuboidal, something to be columnar, and then when the bladder will change shape, these cells themselves can mush appropriately to expand, well, to let that space be bigger. And that's all we have there for this first portion. There's a picture of it, but apparently it's frozen. So there's that. So we're going to take a 5-minute break out. Quarter after, we'll start back up. I'm going to pause this video.